We are live. Welcome everybody. Debbie.codes here today with the one and only Mr. Tim Bix.
That must have been the coolest intro I've ever had.
I'm good.
Also,
you know
Debbie.codes. Yes. It's good
I love
fun.
it.
I love this. Yes.
I remember when I was choosing that domain and people were like saying, no, you need to put your second name because otherwise no one's going to know who you are. And I was like,
I don't think so.
I just want something easy to remember, and Debbie.codes, and I want to be known as a programmer, someone who codes.
Yeah. Aren't you coding? Yeah, it's better than mine. Like mine is timbenix.dev, which also works. But actually, when I got it, it was like, oh, that's hip because it's not .com. But now it's like, it's a bit boring, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's .dev now, so it's not cool anymore. But I love the .codes one. .codes is a cool one. Hey, Sussy, welcome. We have already someone in the house. That is great.
I'm just going to go to YouTube and then see this video to see if I can also see some chat. That would be fun.
Yeah. Can you not see the chat in this
Oh, wait, there's comments here. Oh, I can see some stuff. Wait,
you can see it. You should be able to see it.
Yes. I just look that way and I can see it. And I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You got to turn your head. Oh,
it's all good.
I'm the same. I've got like 3 screens, so you'll see me constantly. It's not like I'm not interested. It's just I'm checking the chat or checking something else.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
I'm wondering. Lost my headphone. What just
lost
happened?
Your headphone? You mean you can't hear me? I thought you were pro. I thought Tim was a pro. But he's not.
I am back. You know what?
Oh, he's back.
You see these? You see those little white ones? I actually opened my phone to check our live stream, and then those little headphones went to my phone. So I shall be putting that phone away now. This is actual live stream.
That happens.
Live stream territory.
I always kind of think like when I'm with you, Tim, live, I never think we're live because it's just like me and you, and it's just like
nothing matters. We're just having some fun.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I cannot show you now, but I'm like, this is a kitchen that I'm in.
This is not a virtual background, right, Tim? This is your real life.
This is an actual fancy, yes. But the other side is the kitchen. Because this is crazy, right? I've been in this farm for a while, staying with friends. And I decided, for some reason, to stay downstairs in the living room where everything happens. And now for months, I didn't realize there's actually a floor above where I'm now. Oh. It's completely empty and fancy. Why did I torture myself trying to record videos in a busy living room with a lot of people?
And a dog.
While I could have been here. And a dog, exactly.
Cool. Yes, Coding Garden fan. We are also streaming on YouTube. We're on Twitch and YouTube. We've got a few people jumping in here, so that's great. I like to stream to both places because, you know what, someone told me that they don't always have access to Twitch in certain countries or something.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. So they were like, can you also do YouTube? And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm streaming to both. I love Twitch because it also helps with like, the chat kind of stuff and whatever. But that's YouTube is cool. If people can't use Twitch, then, you can join whatever one you're more comfortable with.
It all fits.
So this is the plan, right? This is the plan. Tim is a React expert as of 2 months ago, just like me.
Yes. Look at my hat. How about that?
Yeah, that's true. We both learned React together on a live stream very badly and had to be rescued. You can watch that on my channel. Don't watch it because it's terrible. And now you've created a mini application, right? And we're gonna try and improve it, right? Because apparently you've created a disaster. Am I right?
I don't know. I think I used React hooks. I used use effect. So I kind of feel like I did something with state.
Something cool. That's cool. That is great.
Yes, and also the tool I built, I actually need. So it's like I needed to scratch an itch, and I did it. So that's first steps have been taken.
Hello, Schlydens. We got some cool people in here. We got Sorav.
Yeah, awesome.
We got Coding Garden. I love that name. Coding Garden
fan. Yeah, it's good.
That's a great name. And we got Sassy as well. So we got a good few people in there. So welcome. Anyone else who joins, just say hi. So Tim, I'm gonna have a look at your screen and see what's going on.
Share this stuff, and I'm gonna show you guys what I built.
This is what you built.
It's black and white, isn't it? But okay, so let me explain the goal of this thing. So I work in developer relations, right? So I'm a dev advocate, just like Debbie is. And so what I want to know, because it's sometimes pretty hard to figure out, let's say I shared some content on Twitter or something, or on wherever. Hey, good morning, Jason. Sorry, I'm just checking your chat also. There you go. And so kind of what I wanted to do is to be able to track if my links or my posts or whatever have a bit of conversion. Because I want to know if I post something on Twitter with some really fancy title, if people actually click on that. The way to do that is to generate specific URLs with query parameters, and to then actually these query parameters, they show up in Google Analytics. So you can kind of see that conversion and bounce rate and things like that. So what I basically did is this. So let's say the URL I want to share is, let's say it's just my about page, right? And so what you can do is, okay, I post this on Twitter, about Tim Panics, and then the campaign is developer relations. So what it just did, it created for me this URL, right?
Okay.
So it says just my about, and the UTM campaign is developer relations. The source is Twitter, and the medium is about Tim Panics. And so this is pretty long to share on Twitter, right? So you only have certain amounts of characters. So I created a create short link, and I work at a company called Uniform. And so we have uniform.to as our short link generator. And
that's so
this
cool.
thing now, like the thing is, if I post this on Twitter, somebody clicks on it in the analytics of timbennix.dev or uniform.com or uniform.dev where I work, we can now see that somebody clicked that. And I can see, hey, what I wrote, was it interesting, or did I post it on the wrong time? And so when I now go to this link, it actually now goes back to the long one here, and you have the campaign stuff inside.
Very cool.
And so this is what I wanted to build. And
you did it.
Vue.js in 5 lines of code. And then I thought, ooh, we have React. Let's build it in React because I can, right?
Why not? Why not?
Exactly. And so, of course, when you look at this, like when I type something, you see that the field output changes, right?
Yeah.
When I type something here, it changes also. And so that means we are keeping state that is updated. It's reactive. It is React. And you have React hooks to do that with, right? And so I thought, how do React hooks work? Well, go and see. And it looks like a disaster, but it works. This is like
so whoa, wait a minute.
I'm still scrolling.
What? Tim,
I feel like I need a shower after this code, but it uses React hooks, right?
This actually looks like Vue, right? Because there's like, single file. You got everything all in the one. So.
I just basically went. This is what I'm used to. I went single file. Look, this is like I just put this. Go, run.
Go, just build everything. The whole application is there in an index.js file. Oh,
and the worst thing is, this was like a day. I feel sad, but I have Debbie here, and she works at Bit, right? And they do componentization of cool stuff. So, Debbie, why don't you explain a bit what you do, and then we just take this head on.
So we help people like Tim, who have built disasters.
People who need it.
And like what I'm like thinking is like what you've built is really cool, but I would love to use what you built, right? So that hook that you built to create that short link, for example, I'd like to use that. So if you were to put that like in the cloud so I can use it, that would be really cool, right? But I don't want to use, I don't want your form. I don't want all the other stuff. I just want that specific hook, for example, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So separating things out into components means you can share it with other people. Sharing is caring, remember? And you can also share it with yourself, because maybe you have another application that wants to do use this as well. Not just your personal one, but maybe the work one wants to use it. So this is why we want to separate things out. make them into components. Remember, components can be React components, they can be Node components, they can be React Native. So you can also have UI components like a button, or you can have the hook component that does all that cool fancy work that Tim built. Hey, Maximilian, welcome to the show.
Hello. So you just saw me moving my screen because I noticed I had a token here. So I had to just quickly remove that. Sorry, continue. Nobody had the gets to see this token.
Authorization token on the
exactly. I just hard coded this thing. It's nobody saw
Lucy's
it,
in the house. Lucy in the house.
She's here.
Do I have a Discord server? Like I'm on like a personal one. Oh, could you imagine like Debbie Discord server? Like, just go here
Debbie
and listen to Debbie all the time. I think that would be a terrible idea.
Debbie.awesome. I'm down for it. I'll join you.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have so many Discord servers that at one point you don't keep track anymore.
No, it's too hard. It's too hard. I have like loads, and I'm still in the Nuxt one, right? And I keep checking that one for any updates and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I can't be involved in them all, and I'd love to be involved in them all, but yeah. Okay, so right, this is cool. Let's just get.
Oh, by the way, now that Lucy is in the chat, she will recognize this because she also built this. And she gave me the idea, actually.
So she built it first and you copied. So basically, you're not the cool person here. It's Lucy. Is that what you're saying, Tim?
That's always the case, isn't it, Lucy? Now, the thing is, I asked her, how do you solve this? She's like, of course I solved it. That's Lucy, right? So she just showed me this thing. It's like, here's the code. And then, look, she wrote it in the chat. She gave me the code for Vue.js. And then I was like,
I gave you the code. This is Lucy from Prismic, everyone. If you don't know Lucy, she's amazing.
Exactly.
And I gave you the code. Yes, there you go.
I have to be honest, though. Do I still have that code? No, I don't have it here. But it's, you know what? It looks like this also. Let's be honest. Sorry, Lucy. It also looks like one badass big file. It does the job, though. Right, but let's take it to the next level now, because we want to be able to reuse this and maybe expand it and maybe make a startup out of it. I don't know.
Okay, so we don't have a lot of time, so we're not going to get a lot of stuff done, but I can get you started, and then you can keep going and building on it, and maybe like you could also even you can make it better. So maybe like I can show you one or two things that like you can do a bit, and then you can continue on that. And maybe even do your own live stream of like building on top of that, right? So
that sounds good.
Let's get bit into your project. So the first thing you should do is open the documentation. And I know people hate documentation, I know, but it's just, to get started, I just want you to know where it is in case like, but it's, this one will go to the old one. So we need you to go to the new one.
Debbie,
so if you click
that's what really? Oh, sorry. Continue. What do I click? Because this is the first thing everybody will click, right?
I know, but I mean that's been there for years, so we can't just tell Google, hang on, like click on the try new next gen better, right? So you just have to stop and read. But yeah, obviously the old docs are going to show up because like a lot of people are still using it. It's the legacy code that's been around for years. The new one is still in beta, and it only has React Native, and Node.js support. So like if you're using Angular and Vue, you'd be using the other one, right?
Ooh, so this is a harsh version. Here we go.
Yeah, this is built with Docasaurus, actually.
This is a little harsh, the dark one.
It's Docasaurus. It is what it is,
It works.
Okay, so we want to like install, we want to get started, right? So we want to install Bit. So this is the first thing you've got to do. I forgot you don't even have Bit on your computer. Like you're completely...
I'm completely like nothing.
First timer. Okay, well, we need to install what we call BVM. It's the Bit version manager. So it's like, Node version manager, but a Bit version manager. And this will manage your versions of Bit. So it's you have to install this globally, yes, but then once it's there, then it's just easy to like constantly update your versions.
Why don't you use NPM for those versions?
Why don't you use what? Because I think we can handle things better with BVM. Is a really, really cool tool. So upgrading makes everything so much easier.
More fancy, I guess.
Super power. It gives you. It's super powerful. It's really cool. So it's what we use.
Okay. Well, almost installed. There we go. So what if I type BVM now? Okay, so it works. Awesome.
Yes. So you get all this. So I'm going to let you kind of like follow the instructions, and I'm going to test my documentation out
Exactly.
here.
Let's see if we need to change something. So I'm now assuming that I'm in the scope of my project. So I should be able to just do this. Unless this is also a global install. I don't know BVM. Let's do it.
No. This is
it's just going to be global, right? So it's going to ETA 8 minutes. It's going to eat some stream.
That's okay. So we're gonna talk for a little bit while that's doing. So what we're doing is we're installing the bit version manager. So then you're able to like, you know, get bit very, very easily. And it just makes it easier. Before this command, like when I first started a bit, this wasn't even available. This tool wasn't available. And the problems I had to go through just to get bit up and running by doing npm global and doing all this, it was a nightmare. So we improved the developer experience by doing this. Once you install this, that's it. You never have to install this again.
But why is it so big? Is that just me, or I don't know? It's like 1 megabyte a second for 6 minutes is kind of a big package.
Yeah, I don't know. I think also because we're streaming, it takes a little bit longer. But in general,
obviously,
it is.
Of course.
It's a big package because it's like I don't know how big the Node version manager is, for example. If you wanted to compare it, but basically,
it might
like
also be big, right?
That's what you're comparing it to. Remember, this is not bit. This is BVM, which is a completely different thing, right? But once you install this and you have this up and running, you never have to install that again. So then it's like it's just easy, and then it gets.
And then after this, you can just check what your current BVM version is, but not your bit version, not yet.
Well, BVM will tell you the version. Like this is installing bit, like what we're doing, right? So sorry, go up a second, right? So here with BVM install, we're installing bit, right?
Oh, you also, okay. So BVM install means that BVM is now installing bit. Okay, here
installing bit. So then you've got everything up and running. You've got bit installed, etc. And then when you run BVM version, you're going to get the version of bit that you've installed, right?
Okay, cool.
Now this is an upgrading. Obviously, then is upgrading your bit version, right?
Yeah, but that should also now there's still an install here, even if you want to upgrade.
I don't know why that's there. Actually, that's interesting. I need to fix that.
I think npm is. You know what? I think npm is smart like Yarn. When you actually do install of something and you have it already, it tries to update it. I think that's now a feature.
Yeah. This is sorry. Yeah, if you read the text, not just the code blocks, it really helps. So this is upgrading BVM.
You expect developers.
I never read. I know, and I wrote it and everything. So yeah, one thing is upgrading BVM because we do release a lot of versions, and the other is upgrading bit, which is the most important thing. Why is it important to upgrade bit? Because we release a new version every single night.
What?
Which is a
very modern company. I love it.
Yeah, because we're constantly doing things. We're constantly adding new code. We're constantly changing things.
Cool.
So the whole idea is to get it out as fast as possible. So there might be such a minimal change that you won't even notice. But we like to release.
Still, you kind of want to do that. Yeah. So should you be updating it every time you try a project again, or I'm assuming that most of those releases are stable enough, right?
Oh, I mean, we very rarely break something. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. We do break stuff sometimes. Like that happens. We are developers and we make mistakes and we break something, but then we roll back. So it's very easy as well for you to roll back because you have a bit version manager, right? So you're also able to roll back. So if you find something not working, you just go to the previous version and we'll also kind of roll back and make sure the change and then send out a new one. So every day, like I upgrade my bit version and see what new presents I've got, right? And the great thing is,
work there.
Yeah, because we have like we're spread across the world. So we have some people in America, right? So they're working, while I'm going to bed, and I get up in the morning and there's all these like new stuff like that, So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so maybe while we wait, I'm still so it's almost done. Maybe you can just go here and see what this means.
Exactly. So like this is like you have a Git repo already, so you don't need to initialize a Git repo, right? And then we have.
Oh, we might need to do this though, right?
Yeah. So you all know
workspace or no?
I don't know if this is going to. I don't know if this is going to work
Because-
for you because you already have a React project, right? I know why
Yeah,
my camera's a
exactly.
bit weird.
It's basically a next project, Next.js.
Yeah, and what the bit new command, this is a very experimental feature, so it's very new. That's why there's a nice blue warning there.
There it is.
Yeah, it's experimental. So what this is going to do, it's going to create a folder, and we already have a folder. And I don't know if you can like say, just put it right there. So let's just do the manual.
Yeah, because I'm assuming it just spawns something with like React scripts, right, to set everything up as you
It's
do.
like the React, the bit new React workspace is just it's just a way of like doing everything that's underneath. It's doing it all for you.
Okay, but we
But
can still do that ourselves now, right?
Yeah, because I've never tested out in an actual React application to see like what it would do. My camera's being very strange.
Well, you seem to be a little out of focus.
I know, like I'll just jump back. Focus me.
Or go very close.
Yeah, it's weird. It does weird things. It I don't know why it does that. This is the Logitech. Like this is like not a cheap camera. You would think.
I have that one too, but I'm using my fancy one now with autofocus galore. It's awesome, this one.
I'm gonna stop the cam and go back on. No.
Okay.
Never mind. It'll figure itself out.
Never mind. Normally, and sometimes with those cameras, I have it too. You can just go really close and focus and then go out and then it should refocus.
Oh, I like that. You can punch it.
And now it's good.
Oh, I never did that before. I'm going to punch the camera every time it does
This
that.
is basically, it's very sad that you have to do that, but you kind of force it to refocus because something is so close.
I move too much. This is the problem. I constantly move and like it tries to follow me and it can't. Yeah, so it's almost there, right? So what we've done, we've installed BVM, we've installed Bit, and then what we're going to do is initialize a workspace. What is a workspace, Tim?
Well, I'm assuming it's a space you work in with Bit.
Woohoo! Exactly. That is exactly what it is.
This naming is important, isn't it? So
yeah.
shall we just create those files ourselves now and then?
No. Like let it no because no. If you follow the
well, no, we're not doing this.
We're not doing the bit new
but
create.
Do I need to do this though?
We're gonna bit in at a workspace. So we're gonna do this one.
Oh, but
so you have two options. Yeah, we have two options, right? And we're gonna do this one. Like the bit init -- harmony, because that's the new version.
This is what we're gonna do. Okay.
Yes. And we're gonna follow that part of the documentation, which is bit in at a workspace. So you're ready to do that.
Do I hit enter and run? Are we ready?
Run far.
Command not found.
Your command is not found. What happened? Okay.
Well, we have BVM, right? Wait. Let me just try this.
Yeah, this is something that it's really annoying actually.
Okay.
So you have BVM, you have Bit.
I just have to turn on my terminal again and it puts it on my path.
Yeah, restart your terminal, and if not, we've got to add it to that, what do you call that? That bash profile or the ZSH profile or something like that. We might have to add a command there.
Bit init.
Just run Bit and see if Bit is actually working. So we don't have Bit, right? So if we go to the so at the top of the in the documentation.
Oh, I'm just going to go to my bash profile. Where do I go?
So where we've just had install Bit and it says BVM, and then it says learn more about BVM and its commands, including troubleshooting information. Right. So in here, what we want to do is we want to add in here if we get the follow. Well, we didn't get an error, but we
this is the thing. I have a ZSH profile, so that's why it's probably not working. So.
Oh yeah. So what we need to do.
If I just do this, we're good.
Yeah, you can run this. And this is basically what it's doing is it's adding that home and path. And if you have like something similar, such as, what do you call it? What did I have before? So just run Bit and we see if Bit is installed. Yeah, so we have Bit now. I had something else in there. I can't remember what it was.
Bash, just Bash, I guess.
No, not NVM, but like a really cool one. And then like, my whole kind of like.
So mine is not cool, right?
NVM isn't cool. I had a different NVM one. It was a really cool one. So anyway, we've done our troubleshooting, right? So this happens. This is cool.
This was fast.
And
I love it. Oh, I can just not read what it's saying though. Oh, here we go. Help us prioritize new fixes. Do you? No, I don't want to give any data. I'm such a
Tim, you're a
privacy
developer.
person.
Of course you want to give data. No, it's fine.
I'm a privacy person. Wait.
Yeah, you're
error information. Yeah, error information. Okay.
Okay.
That was
so
fast.
we've successfully initialized a bit workspace. Yeah, because the first step is a little bit slow and then it goes fast.
Nice.
So we got this. And now what we want to do is we want to set up a React environment. So we need to uncomment the following line in your workspace JSON-C file. So if you were in the right directory, yes, you have a workspace in JSON
like
file.
it.
And because we're using React, if you scroll down, there should be like something at the very bottom that says uncomment to apply React environment on all components.
Oh, fancy.
Right, so that's easy. Done.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you go back to documentation, we want to install React and React DOM as a type peer. I don't even know if you need to do this.
You might want to explain what type peer means.
Oh, so it's like a peer dependency. So it's not necessary. It's only necessary for a bit to work as like it's peer. So when you do it in your own application, it's not going to be bundled with your code, right? It's going to be.
I depend you on don't want that, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you don't have it, then I'm going to look for it. But if you have it, then I don't need it. So
shall I just go for this now?
I would just install it because I have absolutely no idea if you need to do this when you're actually doing it inside a next project, because I've never done that before. I'm always just using Bit on its own, right? So I have no idea if in a next project I need to add this or not. I'm guessing you do, because then when you export your component, like right now we're in a next app, but we're not really in a next app. We're kind of like secretly in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're just putting something in. We're learning here. Shouldn't I have maybe tell me this, should we have started from scratch and just extract a component and make a Bit component?
That's what we're going to do, but we need a workspace. We need somewhere to work.
Okay.
Right. So if you don't have anywhere to work, then you don't have anything to do, right? So that just explains, committing to Git. So you don't need that. So yeah, this is what you're going to do now. Right now, you're going to go, okay, I'm in the code, and you're not going to read the rest of the documentation.
Yeah, but this is me. But let's have a look. So it should have an auto-generated mapping between tracked components in the workspace and their physical location on the file system. The file structure of your workspace is entirely up to you. I like that. So there's a bitmap file. Okay, so we don't actually have to edit this. So at one point when we create a component with Bit, that will be mapped here.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. And then we have inside Git, we have Bit. We have Git Bit.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's quite a technology first company. It's like they're doing such smart things inside of other smart things, which is pretty hard to do, I think. But let's see the magic. So should we just create a component? Click on this.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. To create an example component and add it to the workspace. Or do I just create a component that I want to create?
Yeah.
Okay. Bit.
I'm just going to watch and see what happens.
So it's going to have to be a React component. And then what is the difference between, shall we just, what would you do, Debs? Would we go to TypeScript or JSX?
Do you know what? TypeScript is by default because it's going to give you much better. And, you don't I like TypeScript now. I didn't when I didn't know how to work with it. But
I haven't done it very often, but that's fine. Okay, so and now we're just gonna call this. Which one did we wanted to do? Like the short.
Maybe you want to start with something simple like your actual button component, or what do you want to do? Because what component do you want to do?
How small should a Bit component be? What is your vision here?
So as small as necessary, so that it's reusable.
Okay.
I like to think of it as small as possible, but obviously there are moments when you don't want to you can extract even CSS as a component, right?
Exactly. So, how about we do? You remember that input that I created on the top? That is just put URL. and that has a label and an input field. And when you type in it, something happens. And that happening thing, that can be somewhere else, I guess. But that could be our first component, right? What do you
We've
think?
got like 20 minutes to get a component into bits. So just choose something simple and then we can build on top of it.
I was just going to do this. And if it's not good, I'll change it later. How about that?
Go for it.
Beam.
So what do you think you're going to get?
A file that I can do something with, potentially. A file that has a model inside of it that Bit knows something about. That's what I'm assuming.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what you just created.
So I created my scope. Oh, I should have scoped it. Maybe something fancy.
Yeah, like you can put, and normally what you do is that is the name where you're going to like send it to the cloud, so you can create a collection or a scope.
Should I have maybe done something like this because it's a UI element?
No. That's a namespace, right? Whereas, and you could do that. That's just going to be a folder structure of where that component lives, right? So if you're in a next app, maybe you have a components folder, for example. Maybe you have you want it to be outside that and be in bit folder. Maybe you want a UI component. But the my scope is where it's going to live in the cloud when you export that. So you can change that later. It's fine.
Oh, I can change that. Okay, all good. So,
and you can also put like a path command and change it. So yeah, it created a my scope folder. So if you didn't want
it, cool though. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, if you didn't want that in there, if you just scroll up on that file that you have open.
You mean this one? Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see how
there it is.
Yeah. So that's where that comes from. So you could change that to
do this. I wouldn't, but yes.
Yeah, normally it'd be your cloud name where you want to publish that to, etc.
Okay, and that cloud name means it's on the Bit cloud somewhere, right?
Yeah, well, you can host it yourself if you want to. I just like
that's cool.
It's easier. Yeah, it's easier to. So this is what you got.
Okay, well, this is kind of what I expected. I got a bit more, which is nice because it gave me a unit test even. Nice. Okay, so it basically gave me props, a type props, and the input itself. So URL input itself is basically, okay, so it exports the type props as well. Oh yeah, because it loads it. Oh, sorry. No, that's also not the right file. This one, from that same. Okay, cool. I'm learning TypeScript as we go also, by the way.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, cool. So we're exporting our type, which is input props, and we are exporting our function, which is actually that URL input thing that we just made. And currently, the props are just one string that we can put in there. Okay.
Yes.
This makes complete sense. And so
yeah, this is your component. Remember, React, every component is a function, right? Which is different to Vue.
I'm learning this now. And then if we wanted to unit test this, I just have to install this basically. But
exactly.
If I had installed this would work.
Yes. So do you want to install it?
Why not?
So do you know how to install it?
I'm assuming.
No.
Okay.
Tell
me. Please tell me.
Because we're working in Bit, right? So you want to install it to that component which lives in Bit.
Okay, so just let me get this straight. So if we have a Bit component, it can be a completely standalone thing, right? So that's why we need to add the test library into the Bit component. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're going to install it, and like it's going to then depend on if it doesn't have it in its in its final application where it's consumed. But we're building inside a Next.js project in here.
Yes.
And when you have Yarn and Bit together, that's two package manager kind of things.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying package manager, but kind of it's a way of managing your packages, right? It's going to cause havoc and it's going to go a bit crazy. So you should then use Bit for everything, and Bit will install.
Yeah, so do Bit install and then
Yeah, like if you went if you went back to the actual documentation of creating components, it would actually tell you this.
Wouldn't it be nice if I had just read that? Because namespaces is what you just explained. Component location, that's what you explained. The bitmap file, I'm going to check that later, by the way, but I'm assuming there's something like this in it now. Ah, there it is. Oh, and it's even exactly explained. I think I already just typed this. Yes.
Yeah, like you did, so it's fine. But just to know it's there, and you can actually press the copy button, so you don't even have to select it and copy.
Oh,
just
accessibility, baby. Okay, I'm gonna check something. So when I hit tab, there it is. Good work.
You see.
Docusaurus, you have it on. I like it.
And if you read the rest of the
Mhm.
documentation, you might see another cool command that you might want to run. You just might want to run just for fun.
This one, the show?
Yeah, but whatever your component is.
So bit show URL input. Go. Ooh. And it looked like it was loading, so it probably already got it from the cloud. Is that correct? Or did it
No,
just
it's not in the
locally?
cloud. It's in your computer. It's only in your computer
Okay.
right now. We haven't exported it. We haven't created
Okay.
it. Remember when you put it in the cloud, it's going to the NPM registry as well. So it's like it's a whole like proper
really?
like
Yes,
it really goes up there.
push. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it does give you a bunch of things about this. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It uses core.js probably for things like how do you call these things again? Like polyfills and stuff, right?
Yeah, and you can see there your peer dependencies, React DOM, etc., and your dev
Oh, it's
dependencies.
using Jest, of course. Cool. Yep. Nice. Very clean.
So now you want to actually see it in your workspace, right?
That would be nice.
Do you know how to do that?
Well, I'm going to read. If I've learned anything from this live stream, if David tells you to read, you read. Oh, there it is. That's exactly what I wanted. So when I do bit start, does this actually map my yarn start or npm start thing?
So this has nothing to do
it
with your next application.
Exactly. It's just basically on its own, which is cool.
This is starting your workspace, and your workspace is called my workspace name, right? Which is a very cool name. But you can modify that in the workspace.
Modify that here, right? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I mean it's it's up to you. You can put Timbonics, you can put whatever. Yeah. You can put your own logo as well. Like you can put, you can really customize it.
So fancy. Okay, so it's still starting. So I'm assuming it's probably downloading some stuff.
Right, this one, on the first run, it takes a little while because it's creating the whole UI, right? It's creating all that stuff that goes behind it. And once you do that on the first run, then after that, it's a lot faster. But the first one, it's got to build everything. And, that takes a little bit more time. So I'll show you something cool while that's building. If you want to open up another terminal.
Yes.
So if you run bit templates, these are all the templates that are available to you. So this is because you haven't created an application. Can you open it in the actual project you're in? So when you run bit templates in an actual a directory that doesn't have a project, it would tell you to use bit new. So that's what that command was. If you're inside the project, right, this is what's available to you.
Oh, I can make like a React hook or a React context component from here. That is cool.
Yes.
So it's like
I built these. So I built these. So yeah, this is what I did, right?
So did you use like something like plop.js and behind the scenes?
No, so like we just used like hardcore JavaScript, TypeScript. So it's not using Hygen or plop or anything like that.
Oh, okay. It's just fancy stuff as you are.
Just custom.
Oh, wait, it's loading. But let's go through this for a sec because it's really interesting to say.
So like it's just like a React component is what you got. It's just a div with some text. You got the React context, the React hook. And then you've got things like an environment, an aspect, that's for extending bit. So they're kind of like the hardcore things. An MDX component, right? So if you wanted to write MDX files, cool. Content, etc. And then the first one at the top is my favorite one because I built that literally just released the other day. So upgrade your version if you haven't seen this. And this is so you can create your own generator. And this is like, you could just run that and then you have a generator and then you could create your own React component to how you specifically want it with whatever styles you want configured or something. Like maybe you didn't want. It
kind of scaffolds it the way you want to be building components, basically, right?
Yeah. So if you don't like how I did it, build your own. And then you can put that in the cloud and you can share it across the team. So everyone on different workspaces or different repos can use it.
Because this is looking at this stuff. This is how you did it. This is your generator thing.
Yes.
But imagine if you've never used it like me, and I'm slow in the mind sometimes, right? It takes me some time to get started with this stuff. I would have had to create all this myself and hook it up.
Yeah, I had to do it when I first came to Bit. I had to like manually make dir, touch file, add this in. I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
No.
So do you want to go to your local host? Let's go to the local host and see what you got.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Woohoo.
And this is like, looks like storybook, but fun.
Well,
there's a lot more to it, by the way.
There's a lot more to it.
Whoa.
But you're just pressing buttons all over the place. Tim's like, I don't know what's going on here.
Where am I? Let me just click some stuff.
Slow down, Tim. Slow down. So,
okay, I'm going to go back. This is okay.
This is your gallery where all your components would live. So the React hook component would be here, the button component, everything in here, right? And you can see it's a React component by that symbol there. So you know it's a React component. If you are creating a Markdown component, then that would have the MDX file, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can open that component. Which, remember, we didn't do any work for you. We just generated stuff for you. So this is the documentation. And you can add your own labels in here. You can add your description in here.
Fancy.
And like there's a live playground, so you can change the text, right? See the way it says hello from up. There we go. So you can just put Tim in there or whatever, and you'll see that live. So people can play with your component to see how it works.
Whoa, that worked really well.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's just React, right? So you can just put some.
It's just a React playground. Exactly. So like there's some of the components I've created. You can change the color in it. You can see that change live. So you can see how your component works. And then like the compositions is how your component is composed. So this is just seeing it in it. It's a very like this is a very simple component that just renders text. So there's nothing here. Yeah. But you could like have different compositions, right? So you can have like a basic
different
one.
variations of that component.
Exactly.
You can add a different prop and see a different composition.
Exactly. Now your tests should work. So there you go.
Whoa.
And you can see that it's green, so everyone knows that this test. And the test set it should render with the correct text. So it's a very basic test. You can write better tests,
kind of like
right?
we mounted it and it just runs with that text. Yeah, sure. So if we did this now, it is just updated live. So did it just run just in the background and updated this?
Yeah, so it's constantly watching. So every change you make, you don't have to run.
Oh,
no,
it's just not for both here, though.
You could run test watch, and you could actually watch it in the terminal if you wanted to.
Okay.
So while you're developing, you could do that. If you just want to do it in the UI, then you don't need to do anything.
This is awesome because I know we have a bit of this also in Storybook, but it takes a bunch of effort to put everything in. This is just out of the box, and it's almost better. I love it.
Yes. And then here is like your dependencies, right? This is what what components your component depends on. Not dependencies like React or testing library. If this component had a React hook, for example, and depended on it, then you'd see that here and you'd be able to see the connection of all your components.
And this would potentially depend on my input component because this is specific, I cannot speak, specific type, let's say URL.
Exactly.
So it has some whatever validations, is this a URL or not? And so it could depend on an input. That's cool.
Yeah.
I have a quick question before we run out of time. When can I do this with Nuxt and Vue? Well, not Nuxt, just Vue.
Yeah, so with Vue, not for a while yet. Not in this version. In the old version, you can use it, but in this version, it's going to take a couple of months. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's going to be out.
Get in there, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Because,
we're working on Angular right now, so Angular support is coming very soon, and then Vue is coming after that. But we can't do everything at once because, there's a lot of development work to do.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous how much stuff you have to do. I work at a startup.
Yes, press that button. Right, this is your code, right? So you don't even need
actually see my code, and this is probably why that bit installer was so big because it has all of this stuff in it.
Yeah, and what this you're just opening up there,
Yeah, I'm just what the.
That's Core.js or something. You just opened npm Core.js.
I know, but you're using an old version. That's all good.
Well, no idea. I don't do all that kind of stuff.
It's apparently deprecated.
There you go.
Anyways, not in the scope of this stream.
Yeah, we're not going to update Core.js in this stream.
And so this stuff is shown inside this, most likely. Yeah, that's this stuff.
What this means is that you can share that component. Remember, that component will be in the cloud, right?
Yeah.
So when you share that component, someone will be able to see that, see the code of it, inspect the code of it, look at the docs, look at the composition. And it's very good for like, they can see like what's going on, right? They can see, actually, you know what, the code of this component is good. I'm going to use it. Because when you publish your component and make it public, you can do private if you want, of course. But say you're making it public, you're making it open source. I want to trust your component. I want to know that it's good. And if it's not good, I'm going to be like, I don't like the code that he's written. I'm not going to use his one. I'm going to use someone else's,
exactly.
right?
So, and you best write good development documentation, and so people will actually use it. And so we can just write MDX here. Nice.
Yeah, so this is MDX. You can delete all that and put your own documentation. You can do whatever you want in here. And yeah, it's click on the changelog. So look at this, read that. I'm so proud of this. It got like deployed literally like yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you created all this. This is cool.
This is like, I created the onboarding docs inside the product, and I've got more coming.
Exactly.
So this is, if you wanted to then version that component, make a version of it and send it, like, it's a very terrible component right now.
It's a bit like NPM, basically, how you can version it and push it out and then do it.
Well, it uses NPM. It uses the NPM registry to push it up there, right? So your babes basically like be able to put it up there. And then what happens is when you create a new version, so maybe you make a mistake and you make a fix and you change it or you improve it, then there will be a new version. And I might be using version 1. You've made a new version. I can then choose if I want to use version 1, version 2. I can inspect. You're not going to see it now because we don't have a changelog.
Well,
if we had it,
but you can see the differences inside this interface then.
Yes.
Wow, this is great.
It's cool, isn't it?
So you've given me so much inspiration because I'm about to rebuild my site with like much better component stuff. But this makes me rethink of maybe doing it in React so I can use this stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool. It's such a cool tool to play with. And like the hardest thing here for you now is just to kind of like figure out the naming, where you want to put your components, into what kind of namespaces.
That's going to be fine though. I think for me, the hardest bit is actually the TypeScript and React itself, right? How does a React app connect? But
we have like very little time. So I'm going to show you just one more thing really, really quickly. So if you go to the local host and you saw that package name, right?
Where? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's so hard to find. I never find it either. I want to make this better. I'm going to like improve this. With the product team are watching right now, I want to improve this. So go back to the overview.
Yeah.
So there's a package name, right? Nope, down.
This. Okay, this is actually very clear. I just didn't see it. Okay.
No, but I find it not very clear as well. So that's good. We're the same,
and
right? So that's
it be
how
npm install and then this and it works.
So if you're in like in your workspace and you want to import a component into another component, then it already has that component because we haven't put it into npm yet. So you're not going to install it into npm, right?
Not for now.
It's not there. It's local. Yeah. But what Bit does not allow you to do is have relative imports.
Okay.
Because things can move around. It doesn't make sense. So if you want to use that component, you would import that component.
Yeah. So I would actually just do. No. What's it again? Basically like this. Oh, I think it already knew. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and make sure you do like, the brackets because it's a named export.
Oh, sorry. Yes, okay. So it's not a default export because it also outputs types, right?
Yeah.
Let me just check. Yeah. It also outputs the type. Yeah, okay. This makes sense. And then now I can just use it, well, basically replace this little ugliness that I built here.
Yeah, well, you'd have to obviously build that first into the component, right? Because at the moment your component just renders the text.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
But I would just replace it with this and happy days.
And add your props in, whatever your props are going to be.
Exactly.
Pass it down. And then you can use that in your application right now. If you are using it in an external application, like the Next.js application, React application, etc., then you need to export that component, and then you need to install it. Imagine this bit workspace was somewhere else and wasn't in your React project, maybe somewhere, it lived somewhere else. Then, you need to make that connection, right? So you need to, export it, install it, and use it.
If, let's say, I give this to my colleague now, and they're not using Bit at all, but I have published it to NPM,
then they can
just use NPM install or yarn add.
Exactly.
Okay, so it kind of eases the pain of creating NPM packages, and you have your own scope, and you have this whole workspace thing. I cannot wait to actually build this myself, because the interesting thing is I cannot say much about it, but where I work at Uniform, we're looking at how to orchestrate Jamstack stuff and all the, the architecture around that, but potentially also how you deal with your content, right? And we use React a lot. And what if I can connect that thing to this thing, where my data components are orchestrated, but then also now my code components in Bit like this? We have happy days. And can I also, in this overview here, do a bit storybook-like things to maybe put 4 components together?
Yeah, so called compositions.
Okay,
so in compositions, you can import one component to another, and you can have a hero component that imports the title component, the button component, the I don't know, whatever else, and makes that hero component, right? So that's what you call compositions, but every component is a separate component, and then you're going to use that import statement to import it.
And if I made a composition, can I add some sort of mock data against it so you can actually see it all run?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of examples. This is going to help you, and I've got literally 2 minutes, and I really have to go because I'm already late for call. But if you go to, that's okay. If you go to bit.dev /learn harmony, and if you spell learn properly, it would
get
help.
somewhere if I actually spelled it right. There we go.
Right, so click on collections, because at the moment I don't like this. It's just you don't know where you're going. So we want to go with the hook component, for example. Right, so this is an example component I've created, not for you to use. Don't use it. Build your own. But this is just to see how it works. So if you click on
so many banners, I just clicked away 4 banners. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so this is the component that you created.
So open that component. This is my hook component. So you can create your own. And this is basically how it works. So it's just documented. And you can see how you can generate that React component. You can make your own. And then you can see the count. So you press that button. And we built this together. Do you remember, Tim, on one of them streams, right?
Was that this thing?
This is what we built. I just made it a bit better. But yeah, that's it.
And so basically your composition of that thing is here. And would it also be possible to have a compositions tab on the side? So I could just say homepage is 5 things to composed, basically.
Yeah, but it's a component. The homepage is a component.
Yeah, of course. So the component homepage could have 6 other components. And so
20.
in this, whatever. Yeah. So, okay, last question, because I know you have to go.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm just really excited. So if I had data from some API about which components I want and which data comes with that components, could I wrap that up and create one of those collections and compositions on the fly with code? Would that be able to work? There should be some sort of mapper, I guess, somewhere. But if I could do that, I would be so happy.
So I don't even remember. I don't know if I actually understood what you said. Because I was reading a Twitter message at the same time saying I'm running late. Go on, go for it.
Okay, so again, very simple. Imagine I now query Contentful CMS, right? Contentful homepage gives me back 6 component types with their JSON. So component name, header, JSON data, this. Can I map that and then create a composition in Bit with my components and adding the props from Contentful?
I have no idea. I haven't used Contentful in
whatever. It just doesn't matter. Imagine I have a JSON file.
You want to get you want to get data. So yeah,
I want to get data into a composition.
Yeah, so I built another one, but it's not live. And maybe I can show you really quickly. I'm really late. Let me see
I'm having
if I
too
can.
Much fun, because if this works, I'm ready. I'm going to just switch build my site in React with this
Okay,
stuff.
let me see if I can do this, because I built something, but it's not perfect, so I haven't released it. So let me see if I share a screen.
Yeah, I'll just remove myself from the stream, or you can remove me and then you add yourself.
Yeah, okay, share. So now I've got, oh, look, that worked. Okay, so it's taking a couple of seconds, it's connecting, and I've got way too many tabs open, as you can see.
Oh, wow, we can now see your internal brain structure.
No, it's terrible. So this is like something you are looking at, right? So this is like, you can see I've got a couple of things going on here. I've got the book. This is like a model, right? So a mock, right?
Oh, there you go. Now you have the pages thing, and yeah, perfect.
And then you got the hook, which is use books, right? And you got a book list, and a theme context. So basically, like, you know, this one here is going to get some books, right? Now, Tim, you're going to laugh at this, right? Right? You're going to laugh at this. Let me go to the composition so we can see a bit better. So we're going to get some books. And because Debbie is Debbie, it actually gets breweries, right? Because
I love it. We are so alike. I would have done the same, to be honest.
Because that's going to the brewery API, and it's getting that, right? And you can see, I think it's in this one. You could see the code in here, where it actually goes. Did I open the right file? Where it actually goes to the open brewery one, fetches that data and returns it. But you can do it better. I just did it that way. You can do it better. So this one, I'll release this very soon, right? Because it's really cool. But that's how you do it, right? And you can
now
kind
go
of see
to the books page,
this is your page,
and show me the composition of this.
So obviously, like, it's not very good because I didn't really make a very good page. It's just literally that's the page, right?
Okay,
but you can see in the dependencies what is, right?
So I could use this in combination with amazing stuff that I cannot talk about. That is gonna blow people's minds.
Tim,
oh my God, if we combine this, I'm so gonna do a live stream once this stuff is out. Oh my God, I'm done.
Tim, I've got to go. I've really got to go.
Me too. Me too. I have a meeting.
We talked too much, so we didn't build as much as we want to. We should get the tailwind on there,
right? Yeah, sure, but we'll get there. Sure.
Yeah, we can do another stream later, or tomorrow or something if you want, and try and build on top of this and make you get a bit more comfortable with it. But do play around with it, create some more components. Tell me what you think.
I'll try. I love it.
And we'll catch up again and do some more of this because this has been fun. So
thanks everybody for watching, and we're like 10 minutes into other meetings already, but we're too excited.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
All right, cheers.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.